Part 4 Chapter 10. I originally wrote this part 19 years 5 months ago. The following journal entry was written during May 1987. I picked up my Bible and opened it up at Revelation chapter 10, and as I read the words of the scripture after each pause I made, I heard a voice which told me the meaning of what I had read. Revelation chapter 10. I read the words, "And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, and then I heard a voice which said, the earth was waiting for someone." And then I read the words, "Clothed with a cloud," and then I heard a voice which said, he had nothing to say. And then I read the words, "And a rainbow was upon his head," and then I heard a voice which said, everyone could see that he was good. And then I read the words, "And his face was as it were the sun," and then I heard a voice which said, he could find his way in the dark. And then I read the words, "And his feet as pillars of fire," and then I heard a voice which said, he was strong enough to withstand the earth. And then I read the words, "And he had in his hand," and then I heard a voice which said, he was sent here for a purpose. And then I read the words, "A little book open," and then I heard a voice which said, to say something. And then I read the words, "And he set his right foot," and then I heard a voice which said, he took his strength. And then I read the words, "Upon the sea," and then I heard a voice which said, from what he saw. And then I read the words, "And his left foot on the earth," and then I heard a voice which said, and from what he gave. And then I read the words, "And cried with a loud voice," and then I heard a voice which said, everyone heard him, and then I heard a voice which said, he could only use his voice. And then I read the words, "As when a lion roareth," and then I heard a voice which said, he was in control, and they were afraid. And then I read the words, "And when he had cried," and then I heard a voice which said, everyone heard him. And then I read the words, "7 thunders uttered their voices," and then I heard a voice which said, he could use his voice 7 ways. And then I read the words, "And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices," and then I heard a voice which said, when he had finished what he was sent here to do. And then I read the words, I was about to write, and then I heard a voice which said, the earth was changing. And then I read the words, "And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me," and then I heard a voice which said, "But God said," and then I heard a voice which said, they were told by God. And then I read the words, "Seal up," and then I heard a voice which said, "Don't show anyone." And then I read the words, "Those things that the 7 thunders uttered," and then I heard a voice which said, the way in which he used his voice. And then I read the words, "And write them not," and then I heard a voice which said, even if it is revealed. And then I read the words, "And the angel which I saw," and then I heard a voice which said, the earth has seen and believed. And then I read the words, "Stand upon the sea and the earth," and then I heard a voice which said, what he saw and what he gave. And then I read the words, "Lifted up his hand to heaven," and then I heard a voice which said, he made the earth rejoice. And then I read the words, "And swear by him that liveth forever and ever," and then I heard a voice which said, he bare witness to God. And then I read the words, "Who created heaven and the things that therein are, and the earth and the things that therein are, and the sea and the things which are therein," and then I heard a voice which said, the fish saw you too. And then I read the words, "That there should be time no longer," and then I heard a voice which said, that it was not good. And then I read the words, "But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel," and then I heard a voice which said, in his lifetime. And then I read the words, "When he shall begin to sound," and then I heard a voice which said, he was prepared. And then I read the words, "The mystery of God should be finished," and then I heard a voice which said, the world is coming to an end. And then I read the words, "As he hath declared to his servants the prophets," and then I heard a voice which said, it was the truth. And then I read the words, and the voice which I heard from heaven, and then I heard a voice which said, it was God that was speaking to the earth. And then I read the words, spake unto me again and said, and then I heard a voice which said, they wasn't sure. And then I read the words, go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth, and then I heard a voice which said, they were told to believe. And then I read the words, and I went to the angel and said unto him, give me the little book, and then I heard a voice which said, they asked him to explain. And then I read the words, and he said unto me, and then I heard a voice which said, he explained to them. And then I read the words, take it and eat it up, and then I heard a voice which said, it's a true. And then I read the words, and it shall make thy belly bitter, and then I heard a voice which said, they didn't like what he said. And then I read the words, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey, and then I heard a voice which said, but it gave them love. And then I read the words, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand, and then I heard a voice which said, the earth believed him. And then I read the words, and eat it up, and then I read the words, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and then I heard a voice which said, it made them love. And then I read the words, and as soon as I had eaten it, and then I heard a voice which said, when they saw that it was true. And then I read the words, my belly was bitter, and then I heard a voice which said, they didn't like the way it was written. And then I read the words, and he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings, and then I heard a voice which said, the earth is too small. And then I heard a voice which said, Peter, that's why you cannot marry. Written and experienced during the month of May 1987. Peter Bowler. Saturday, 14th October 2006.